Welcome into the Warchant Happy Hour. Happy Libations Friday, everybody. I'm Jeff Cameron alongside the great Corey Clark, and here we are at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Yep.
Bravo to all of you.
3-0 Noles, baby.
Here we
3-0
go.
Noles.
Celebrating an undefeated Florida State football team hosting in a sold-out stadium, I might add.
Which is incredible. That's
Boston
awesome.
College, obviously, with a chance to go to 4-0. How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited for the Boston College game, which is crazy to say, but I am. Who would have thought what does it say about how excited this fan base is that you sell out for 1-2 Boston College? Don't touch my mic. That you, hey, that would be gross. But 1-2 Boston College, two unranked teams, although Florida State should be ranked, and you sold it out for the first time in I don't know how long. That just tells you, number one, how excited they are about this team, and just how starved this fan base is for good, fun football. And they got good news today with the recruit, too. Like, everything's coming up Florida State right now, baby.
I was just about to note that Florida State got the yes from Hakeem Williams, wide receiver that is a five-star kid. Looks like an NFL player already.
Yeah.
We saw him. You and I were down on the field for practice when he came in.
Oh, were
with
we?
the shirt that. You don't remember the shirt that said "I'm him"?
Yeah.
So there he was. He came walking in. And I remember thinking, well, he's every bit 6'3", 6'4", and he looks the part, and obviously his film does too. So it's exciting for Florida State because, let's be honest, this has not been a place lately that has been able to recruit wide receiver. They've had to do it in the transfer portal. Last year, they had the worst receiving core in the ACC. Now, we've seen a huge step forward, thanks in part to three guys that they brought in that we think have a chance to be really good. But now you get a high school kid that's a five-star kid that Texas A&M wanted, that Miami wanted, Florida wanted, all these teams wanted. It's obviously a very big deal for Florida State to get that player. At the same time, in the modern era of NIL, you celebrate the verbal commitment, but you don't hold your breath because we still have to wait until the line is signed.
Well, yeah, for sure. But, odds are he'll stick with his commitment. That normally happens. There aren't a lot of guys that do flips on signing day. And also, man, he would be persona non grata. If he had Peter Warwick and Snoop Menace at his commitment ceremony and then backed out, I mean, don't do that, Hakeem. Hakeem the Dream. Don't do that. So I think they seem pretty confident this is a firm commitment.
By the way, the best thing that happened to Florida State last week, besides winning a game and showing a gut check and all that stuff that we've talked about that's so exciting, is that he was in attendance for the Texas A&M Miami game.
Oh,
and
he saw that nonsense.
If you wanted to see a sorry-ass state of affairs, go watch those two teams trying to play offense.
It's crazy that, I know Jimbo puts guys in the league, but that offense has been bad since he got there.
He
doesn't. And, it's been a long time since Rashad and Kelvin were running around catching passes from a Heisman winner. So, yeah, man, you might be at a point now, crazily, that Florida State is a more appealing place. Clearly it is a more appealing place for a wide receiver than Texas A&M.
Well, the biggest thing is, look, at the end of the day, if Texas A&M wants to offer an exorbitant sum, you may not win the recruitment. In the modern era, if they decide we're going to give you $2 million,
might be like, Jimbo, we give you a lot of money. You keep scoring 17 points. We'll score some points, and then we'll bring some money.
I agree with you. I think that Florida State's competitive now in the NIL. The offense is starting to look more exciting. They can feature a star receiver like they did last week with Johnny Wilson. And Hakeem's a big receiver, too, so he wants to see that, right? But it is interesting. At some point, money does drown the conversation to where you're going to lose a guy just because of money. But if you're competitive in the NIL and you identify talent and say, we're going to go all in on that kid, we've got $1 million of our own to give that kid. Okay, well, now all of a sudden, now he's got an offer where they're both making a lot of money either way. But this offense is starting to excel, and that one does nothing. Yeah. And ultimately, you're trying to get that NFL contract. So you're right.
Well, and also look at Miami, where he's from. Like that offense went up and they just love kicking field goals. Florida State does
Mario
not.
Cristobal's a big fan.
Florida State is not a big fan of field goals. They'll try a few. It's not going great so far. Got to get that ironed out, Jeff. We got to get that ironed out. But let's not focus on the negative right now. Jeff, what are you looking at? You looking at Tom?
I'm making sure that the audio is where it needs to be.
Tom's got it under. What would you think was the biggest part of Friday night's win over Louisville? Was it the emergence of 14, or was it the gut check, just finding a way to win when I thought they were going to get blown out? You have any excuse to go get blown out, or Tate Rodemaker looking like a college quarterback?
Well, you and I have talked a little bit about this for those that didn't hear it on either Seminole Headlines or the Jeff Cameron Show or Wake Up Warchant. But I would say this, it's hard to choose there, Corey, because I think as it pertains to the long-term future of Florida State, the answer is Tate Rodemaker.
Yeah.
Because Jordan Travis at some point, let's say he goes on to have the kind of year he's in the midst of having, he's going to leave. And you better have somebody ready to go next year. And we didn't think Tate could. So all of a sudden we were talking about A.J. Duffy needing to accelerate his learning curve. So to me, and also, let's be honest, Jordan has been hurt most every year he's been here for some period of time.
Yep.
So you cannot be sentenced to a losing season if your quarterback goes down. You have to know you can compete and have a chance to win some games. The Tate we saw in the second half is the Tate we've seen in practice a million times. We've tried to tell people this is who he is, but he never proved it in the game. So I'm going to side with Tate Rodemaker.
Yeah, I especially for the long term, you're right. I think you hope, though, that if this is going to be a special season, you're going to have 13 at quarterback.
Sure.
And if he is at quarterback, and again, he practiced on Wednesday. We don't know anything that happened today or Thursday, but he did practice on Wednesday. Moving forward, having a guy that every defense has to go shade towards, like 14 now, like that guy put on a show where it's like, okay, that changes everything. That opens up things for Pittman. That opens up things for the other Wilson, my man Pokey. The running game, like all of it benefits from having a great wide receiver out wide, right? Without question, Corey. And I would say this, they're close to being a pretty difficult offense to deal with. The one thing that's going to hold them back, and I do think it'll catch up with them, they're not dominant up front. Again, they're not dominant up front. They're good enough. They find a way to survive. They keep losing guys. They cannot keep losing guys. If that happens, this thing will take a step back. But if they can keep the group that they have now and get a little bit healthier, let's say Scott comes back in a couple weeks, then, yeah, man, I like this offense against everybody. And I know some defenses are better than others. Obviously, you're never going to pick them to score a ton of points against Clemson. But they can compete with this offense, like at a pretty high level, certainly within this conference. Yeah. So, I honestly think seeing this offense, you have an offensive-minded head coach. And I'm a big believer that when I look at teams, okay, so look, because it's fun to do, Jimbo Fisher is an offensive coach. He's a quarterback coach. He is an offensive guru, right? Texas A&M's offense is ass right now. Yeah. All right. Mike Norvell is an offensive coach. Florida State is either first or second in every major category in the ACC right now in offense. I'm not telling you Mike knows more than Jimbo. I'm just telling you one thing's working right now, the other is not. And today we found out what that means. Because Hakeem Williams, no doubt, was offered more money to go to Texas A&M, but he chose Florida State. If you're good in an offensive... How much money would you have to... What's the extra money you would have to get to go live in College Station? To go live with those people, not just the town. As a hero. You're still living with those crazy, goofy people, man. It's a cult. They're smacking their thigh and doing those yellow practices. What would it be? 18-year-old Jeff Cameron, if you're a 5-star. 18-year-old Jeff Cameron would it be no $10,000 a month more? Like, would that get you to College Station? No, 10,000. Oh, 10,000 a month. Would that get you to College Station? At least that keeps the conversation going. Yeah, it keeps the conversation alive. But $5,000 a month. I'm picking up the phone. You're not going to College Station for $60,000 extra a year. At 18, I might have. I don't know, man. I don't know. You live here. This version of me is no chance. Man, those people are so weird. Oh, no, it's a cult. No offense to all the A&M grads out there. It's a cult. It's funny. But the point is, you've got a chance to win some of these battles because your offense is really taking a step forward. So for Florida State, if you can get to 8-9 wins and the offense is prolific and the defense is whatever it is, average. Yeah. Man, I think that bodes well. You have always been a huge advocate that Florida State should look a certain way offensively. And you and I have debated about whether it means more to win, no matter if it's 13-10 or 57-50, right? Yeah. Like we can have the nuanced argument there. But the bottom line is I agree that if Florida State has playmakers and he's recruiting to that end, obviously you can flip the script real quick because they have not had a lot of playmakers the last 5 years. And that was my biggest – that's the thing I wanted to see the most coming into this season because I believe in what Norvell's building. I think the proof is there after the last 2 months. But the fact that the offense wasn't good either of the last 2 years, it needed to take a step up. It just had to, especially for our offensive play caller, an offensive-minded coach. And that's what's been the biggest, not surprise, but I think the most encouraging thing about the first 3 games is what this offense looks like. It looks like it's taken a step up. Want to thank really quick, you guys are in the chat. We can't see you, so if I'm slow to thank you guys on the chat,
Tom's got it, and I just now looked down at my phone. So, Tony, thank you so much. He sent a buck. And listen, by the way, this thing is over.
Yeah.
The dream is over, kids. You either get on now or F you forever.
Yeah, but basically, essentially, that's going to be the code. F you forever.
F you forever, yeah.
F you forever.
So it's $1 to join Warchant right now. It ends next week sometime.
It ends October 1st, which is the Wake Forest game. So if you want to read our comments about going to 5-0.
Watch videos like this.
And beating Wake 38-7, man, you're going to have to sign up in the next week. The time has run out.
Brad Wright, thank you so much. We appreciate you. 2 annual subscriptions, if I could say it. I was just stuttering over and over again, to warchant.com.
What?
2 subscriptions to warchant.com.
Oh, okay, great. Gotcha. Sorry.
No, it was hard to distinguish as I stuttered my way through that. But yeah,
correct.
No, 2 subscriptions to warchant.com. So we're good.
Yeah, man. We're doing it.
I think we're at 75,000.
Subscribers?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Somewhere in that
they're all going to
right,
be at the game tomorrow.
It'd be crazy. Yeah.
78, 79, something like that.
Taking over the world, which is a good thing.
But it is awesome. And again, just winning, having a team that people care about and enjoy watching is so good, not for just us, but but for the community, the city, the program. I mean, we need it. We need this, man. The city needs this.
I don't disagree. I was very fortunate to go to school here in the early 90s and then break into media in the late 90s. You were somebody who was dating your then-to-be wife who had come to games then.
Shout out to Shanna.
That's right.
Ex-wife, her loss.
Who you're still close with. And then, in addition, you and your dad came to games when you were a child. You've been to many important games, of course. And I came with my dad to.
He's still here. My dad's been gone for 11 years and counting.
I'll tell my dad to talk to your dad tonight on the drive home.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
I'm taking him to the game tomorrow, Pops.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So, nonetheless, Florida State means a lot. But more importantly, if we're going to deliver context to people, this city changes when Florida State's good, when Florida A&M's good.
Yeah.
To an extent, I suppose, TCC. But the bottom line is this. If both universities are thriving, you feel that energy. I talk about it a lot. When I broke into media, we would do shows at AJ Sports Bar and Grill, which is no longer there.
R.I.P. AJ's.
Yeah, Tennessee Street. But just getting there, you could feel it. It was palpable. People were pumped. And I know it's Parents Weekend and it's a sell out this weekend. You could sense that a little bit here. There's an uptick in emotion and energy. Obviously, financially, it helps the community immensely. So them getting off to this kind of start has everybody a buzz for a good reason. It's not just that we want to see our teams win. We want our community to excel and do well. And the bottom line is, it may be absurd, but the truth is, if your sports team's good, everybody's pretty happy.
And, and they're willing to spend more money as far as coming to games and these exorbitant hotel prices. How about my man Bill, though? He doesn't raise up the food prices or beer prices on a Friday night with a big game coming. It's still the same great prices, everyone here at Corner Pocket. That was good,
always. Right? That was really well done the way he did
because
it, too.
He could hike them up to $10 a beer, but he ain't living that life.
I just saw Eric a moment ago. He walked in. We want to thank Eric Angel, as always. He noted Tallahassee's on fire. Had to take a helicopter to get to Corner Pocket with quickness, and he donated to the cause.
There were a lot of people. The traffic was pretty intense out there, for Tallahassee anyway. But I was going to say, imagine what it'll feel like if you're, 5, what would you be, 6-0? 7-0, 5-6-1 with Clemson coming to town. If you're ranked and Clemson's coming to town, whether you're 5-2, 6-1, 7-0, whatever your record would be, man, it would feel like the old days again. I mean, there would be, you know what I mean? Like when you're talking about the game all week and you're breaking down the game all week and you get that nervous excitement on a Thursday night and then
because
Friday,
it's all you think about. Because there's something of consequence. Maybe 5-1. I think realistically.
Would it be 5? So they
lose NC State on the road.
NC State's their 6th game. Yeah. So if they're 5-1 playing at home against Clemson, man,
that'd be huge.
Yeah, man, right.
And God forbid they're 6-0,
buddy.
Woo.
Buddy, you're not gonna be able to get into this place.
What are we talking about then? Well, then you start thinking about.
We're gonna have to broadcast from the arena.
No, but in truth, you begin to talk about weird things. Like you start talking about stupid stuff that you don't have a right to talk about, given the stage of growth that they're in.
But if they're 5, 5-1, 6-1,
5-1
against Clemson, they could really be playing for the ACC Atlantic. That's an enormous game in the ACC Atlantic.
Well, and you don't love anybody in the Coastal, so you fish, great shirt, baby. Yeah, and listen, by the way, thank you. Never lose your nerd, $2. And Bill, thank you as well. Man, do these guys have questions? They're just being nice. I appreciate that.
Nice. Yeah, I'm telling you, people just love what's going on here.
Well, it's exciting. Now. It's exciting. I love them too. Thank you so much. No, honestly,
you'd be playing for there'd be something on the line,
major.
Not just let's get to a bowl or let's get to
tired of losing
wins.
to Clemson. Let's not kid ourselves. That place would be crazy.
Yes.
Game day would be here. The whole deal. The whole kit and caboodle.
Sure.
And I just wanted to say kit and caboodle.
It's been a minute since you said it.
I've been longing to do it. I had an opportunity. I pounced on it. But honestly, to get in that position again, I don't think we thought, and you're an optimistic guy. We were talking before the year. I said 8-4. Maybe if the ball bounces the right way, 9-3.
The ball's bounced the right way through 2 weeks.
Yeah, they got to get past some of this bad luck with injury.
Well,
though.
yeah, you ain't lying.
You can't really lose any more of these offensive linemen.
Or the defensive line.
Well, correct.
You're kind of at your limit there, too.
I really think you see the limitations of what Florida State is without Fabian Lovett. He's such an integral part of what they do defensively because not only can he eat up, he's a guy that can eat up 2 blockers, but he's a guy that really sheds well and he tackles well in the hole. He changed the LSU game several times.
Yeah.
A couple of third and short plays where he just throws a guy to the ground. They don't have another guy like that if he's not playing. We got guys that are serviceable if he's not playing, but they're not difference makers. Fabian Lovett's a difference maker.
Yeah, and that's the difference between him and his backup, I think, is even bigger than the difference between Robert Scott and his backup.
Correct.
They don't have anybody
there,
like
that's not that big a deal.
Yeah, but man, going from Fabian Lovett to whoever is a big deal, and the same probably with Jared Verse. So those are 2 guys you really miss. We don't know what their status is. I'd be surprised if they were doing a lot tomorrow.
We're not allowed to
we don't know. But they will be back this year. We do know that, which is great. You just hope you can survive until you get healthy again. Because if you're at full strength for Clemson, with the way your quarterback looks, man, you probably should win the darn game. You can compete with that team.
Yeah, no,
absolutely. You go in expecting to win that game. Doesn't mean you will, but that team goes in expecting to win that game.
Yeah, I still really admire Clemson's defensive line, so I'm not going to go so far as to say I would expect to win that game, but I would expect to be competitive and have a chance to win that
I was talking about the players. Players will go in thinking we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
And I don't know the last time they played Clemson and they really
truly believe that, yeah. Well, they almost did it a year ago, so, again, it's exciting to think about those possibilities. In the interim, you got a game tomorrow where you really don't get much of a reward, and what I mean by that is if you lose it, it's cataclysmically bad.
Yes.
If you win it, people go, oh, great, you beat Boston College. I hate games like that. I mean, there are a lot of games like that, but that's one tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's also a testament to how far Florida State's come, where we can say,
man, last year, any win.
Oh, we got one. Yeah.
Suck on that, UMass.
Yeah,
that was a big dub. That was a big dub.
It's a big dub on a Saturday. Yeah. No, it's a true story.
Look at this thing.
That's me. Yeah.
What is that?
I'm drinking a Guinness. A
gigantic
Lord. Guinness. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. There's vodka in this. There's vodka in this.
Noles. Cheers. Thanks, guys. There you go. Yeah. I'm going to let that settle. Good call. We got another donation. My goodness gracious. Tom's texting me left and right here to make sure I know. James B.
Always coming through.
I
was hoping I'd see him. I don't see him here, though.
Thanks, James B. He said, see you tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
We'll see you. James B. Drive safe. Thanks so much for your help. As always, and go Noles, man. Drive safe.
And Hotel Indigo tomorrow, right? For all the people that were wondering about that.
So 5 to 7. Tom and I are going to be on the air from 5 to 7 tomorrow, Hotel Indigo. And then the in-game watch-along, Tom and Aslan taking turns. Dominic Robinson back with us, doing a great job as he does. Post-game show, Gene and Tom will break it down for you. Hopefully we're talking about a very comfortable win. Corey, as the week has gone on, I haven't felt any worse about the game. I still feel like Florida State wins. I do kind of feel like it might be a bit of a slog, sort of just an ugly, boring 27-10 type win.
Oh, one of those boring 27-10 games around here.
Yeah.
Sure, man.
I mean, honestly, I do. I kind of feel like it's okay, we won. That was nice.
If they hold them to 10 points, that would be a very good sign because of what they might not have on defense. That would be a good – I know it's Boston College. I know they're not very good on offense at all.
No, their offensive line is devastating.
This defense was not good against Louisville until the very end. They were good then when it mattered. But, they might be a little bit depleted. So, hopefully they rise up and play well. You hope – Norvell made a point on Monday to talk about the crowd. Like, we need you there. We need you to play. We need you to be there. And for the fans to come and it's a sellout, I think that could really matter, man. I think that could really matter. And that even if it was going to be a slog, the crowd could inspire this team because they don't play in front of a lot of huge crowds in this conference.
This is a good point, Corey, because I was trying to think of the last time. The Miami game, I think, is the answer. At home, where there was a palpable feeling of urgency and energy and support and, just a in mass, like willing a team to win a game. We've been at games like that where the fans have almost willed a win, where a guy makes a play he wouldn't otherwise make. He finds a reservoir of energy he didn't have, And so to me, tomorrow will be a nice example of what Doak can be.
Yeah.
It's sold out.
Well, yeah, but it's supposed to be crazy for Miami and Clemson.
Right.
That's what this game is so cool, is because it's Boston flipping college, man.
So when we were talking about when we were young, I used to come to every game was a sellout.
Yeah.
Every game. And a lot of it was to see not only how bad you were going to beat somebody, but all those young kids, all the good 5-star kids that you were bringing in.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to get to play in the second quarter, the third quarter, that kind of thing. It would be nice to be in a game like that where they actually get Duffy into the game, where you start to see some of the younger offensive linemen get an opportunity. All those guys. So it would be really, really big if they could do that. That
would be nice, man. That would be nice. I'm not expecting that just because, again, there's some injury concerns. But, I think Florida State is the better team by a pretty wide margin, and I think they're well coached. I think they're better coached. I think they have better players.
Hold on.
Oh,
I don't care what kind of point you're trying to make.
Yeah.
Gregory Morand is a effing rock star, and my goodness gracious, that is $500.
Let's go, Greg.
Greg, I don't even know. I can't properly thank you.
Greg,
I should probably be naked up here.
Well, that's not a thank you.
I mean,
that's not a thank you for Greg.
It's a gift to anybody. But honestly, he says, drinks on me, and don't forget Pittman all day. Hey, Gregory, sincerely, I'm looking at the camera. Thank you, man. That means a lot.
What do you want to buy with that?
I don't even know. Yeah, that's going to be all right.
I'm going to get another vodka.
You should probably have another drink.
Water.
I may get a second Guinness. Gregory Morand has come
Morand
for
in
us
the house.
Maybe crazy. Some wings too, Gregory. I don't know. This is crazy.
The wings here are phenomenal. But yeah, I don't know what I expect from this game other than Florida State should win, could win, better win. But man, what a good sign it would be. Number one, if Jordan Travis plays.
Hey, let me ask you that question. What do you think? What do you think?
I think he'll play.
I do too.
I don't know that he would. Why would you practice him on Wednesday if you weren't planning on playing him on Saturday?
Yeah, I got the sense early in the week that he would play. I don't know that to be true. But if you watch the video or you're at practice and you watch him be able to put weight, shift weight, throw the football with accuracy, in rhythm.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be able to plan and turn. And he did that without any problem early in the week.
Yeah.
So
that was
honestly,
2 days ago.
Yeah, I really feel like he's probably good to go. And that's really good news.
And
because
just shoot him up with a little tortoisol or whatever they put in there. Tortol, whatever. I call it tortoisol for the tortoises.
You just make it up.
It's tortoise blood.
Tortol's God's gift to football players.
Right, sure.
Yeah, it's been around a while.
So the one, because look, man, Jordan Travis now beats you with his mind and his arm more than his legs.
Yeah, by far.
It's crazy what he's done. But the best play he made against Louisville is when on the first drive that blitzer comes free, he spins out of it.
Yep.
Unlike my man EJ, he spun out of it and made a play. By the way, shout out to EJ Manuel. He's here this weekend with the ACC Network. I talked to him today. Got the
right
video
after you insulted him, you just said,
I know. Sorry, EJ. You're the man, for real. But, man, that dude looks like he's still 21. It's crazy.
Oh, he was always a freak of an athlete and a good-looking guy.
6'6".
He's also very natural in the media. He does a great job.
Yeah, I think he's a rising star.
I do, too. He does a great job.
But, so, Jordan Travis, avoiding that blitz, rolling to his left, throwing to Johnny Wilson, down to the 2, that play on the first drive. Can he do that tomorrow? That's the question. In all those throws he made against LSU where he scrambled around.
Made a play.
I know his arm's fine. His brain is great. Will he be able to move and avoid pressure when he maybe doesn't, when it's disguised?
Well, Corey, if he can't, then don't play him.
Yeah, that's the question. Right?
I mean, if he can't, don't play him. And also, let's not forget, we are very, very intrigued about the idea of what is Tate Rodemaker. I mean, I'm not like creating some quarterback controversy. This team's better with Jordan Travis, but Tate has a chance to be good. like legitimately could end up being a good player. Before last Friday night, we didn't think he could play.
Yeah, we were wondering what.
So every time he comes out there, we're going to be like, okay, is he furthering that confidence? Is he getting better? Is he starting to take on more responsibilities and handle it well? Yeah, like I'm not going to lie. I mean, I know Jordan's good. I now know that.
Yeah.
He wasn't, he is.
Yeah.
Period. And so far, he's been brilliant. Only May has been better at North Carolina. About those two, that's it, in the ACC. So I know what he can do. I do. I mean, I'm not going to be sad if Tate has to play, but I do think Jordan's going to play.
And I just, if Jordan can go, I think the message you send to your team is Jordan's going to play. I don't like if they've seen him practicing. If they've seen him practicing and taking a lot of reps, and then you say, "Oh, well, we're gonna risk it this week because we want to be fully healthy for Wake." Well, man, Wake isn't nearly as big a game if you're 3-1 instead of 4-0.
Correct.
Jordan Travis is your starter for a reason. So if he can play and can go and can move and do Jordan Travis things, then he needs to play.
Rob, thank you so much. I see your contribution as well, and we do appreciate you very, very much. That's Rob Rathburn stepping up. Is that Rathbun? I can't see my phone.
Yeah, Rob Rathbun, man. He's old reliable. He's a pillar, man.
Well, my phone is at a distance, Corey, and I mean, that's a great distance.
Yeah, man, you're old, too.
That's a great distance. So,
Rob, you're the man. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
A little mango peach. Yeah, I know you were wondering.
Oh, we were
Everybody
asked
at home
the question?
was wondering. A little mango peach for the Mio. I didn't get a straw, though.
Are you going to put the vodka in?
Yeah, that's coming next. See,
this is a grown man.
See, I need a straw, though. Could I get a straw? Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't want to use my finger.
It's like Corey's in 8th grade. He doesn't want to get busted. He's like, just put a little water and vodka in there. My dad will never know.
Thank you very much. You're the best. Oh, this can be so good. You want to taste?
I don't.
Okay. All right.
No, I mean, mix it up. Let me taste it. Let me just see. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see how good this is. My guess is it's not as good as a Guinness, A. And B, it probably just tastes like water.
Hold on.
It's a lot of water and very little vodka.
You're not going to drink out of the straw.
No, I'm a grown man.
Dry my nose.
I'm not going to drink it out of the straw.
I didn't want to either, but there you go. Oh, man, put your lips on that, Jeff. That stuff is tasty. Huh?
It tastes like water.
Yeah,
with a little bit of Mio.
That's the beauty. But you don't even
get any alcohol in there. Yeah.
That's a whole shot, man.
A shot in like a 40-ounce glass.
Well, I know. It's fine. It's a long night, my man. It's a long night. We got to finish
3
ourselves.
a.m. Corey's dead sober but very hydrated. And
I can wake up every 30 minutes to pee.
You are the guy to give everybody a ride. That is good.
It's good stuff, man. Changed my life. Mio. I wish Mio would.
But you had the surgery.
I did have the surgery, yeah.
So you're free to have something that tastes good.
No, man, I've changed my life though. Yes, I could go back to that, but I'm not going back to that. I've never been that. I was an ultra guy. That stuff's way too hard.
Well, the only other thing I want to see tomorrow, besides I'd love to see the linebackers play really well and the backups that are going to have to get in there for Verse and for Fabian, we think.
Yeah.
I'd love them to play better. They need to play better than they did against Louisville.
And I want to see what the deal is with Duke Cooper. What's the deal with him?
You were at practice this week, right?
He practices. He's there. Tom, you can attest. He is there. And he was there on the sidelines against Louisville, but he played 4 plays.
Yeah.
And
played early.
Yeah, he played 4 plays total. And then they told Norvell said, look, he's been dealing with injury. Fuller said he gutted it out against LSU. But my issue, it's not an issue, but my concern is I know when he got hurt. I saw it happen. It was I'm not even going to say what happened. It's just you just roll your eyes if I told you what happened. It was just ridiculous. But I saw when he got hurt. He wasn't playing well before that.
I was at that practice.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, of course. There you go. It's a Florida State thing that just happened.
We saw it, yeah.
So, but he wasn't playing well before that. He was awesome the first week, and he was the best player on the team, I thought, for all of spring. He was a lockdown corner.
In spring, yes, he was very good.
And then the first week of fall camp, I thought he was good. And then something before he got hurt, something just wasn't clicking.
Well,
and that's a concern because I thought that dude was the next dude.
So I think it's an interesting conversation for a variety of reasons. It's very important that he get better.
Yeah.
But also, my man Tom was a great journalist that day and was, talking to Woodson and basically bottom line.
Tom's a great journalist every day.
But I'm saying, he really tapped into his great journalism that day.
Oh, good.
And he was talking to Woodson, and I thought it was interesting because Tom was like, you got to feel really good now that you have a corner you can count on. and I'm paraphrasing, and he's like, oh, well, he's got to earn the reps first. Like,
Yeah.
they were not happy with his offseason is what I'm getting at. I mean, I don't want to start a problem here.
Sure, I know you don't. I know
but
you
I'm
don't.
saying, like, clearly this guy wasn't doing all the things, at least not every day, the way they wanted him to, because when you talk to coaches about him, they're like, yeah, he's good. Let's see how he plays. Like, what does that even mean? I mean, what's going on there?
Because he ended the season so well, had a great game, had a great last month, and then, like I said, I thought he was the best player on the team in the spring. And you're like, okay, that's a lockdown corner that you've got for 2 years. Let's figure out the other side. Renardo Green, Thomas, whoever, but Cooper is the guy over there.
Sure.
And now he's the bigger question mark. Renardo Green's
He's been great.
He's been really
good.
good.
I mean, he's been good. He's been good. Great is
Great's probably a little strong here at Florida State.
Yeah, but he's been good.
I think he might be the best corner they've ever had. I mean, the jury's still out.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll see how the
let a few
season
more
goes.
games go by, Corey.
But no, Renardo has been very, very solid. Very solid. Commendable.
Yeah.
But you thought he was the question mark, and Cooper was the known commodity, and it hasn't really worked out like that yet.
And frankly, I know Noles had the interception. He gets a big, hurrah
great
for that
catch, by the way.
It's a great catch, but he has not been great this season.
He is not, but that was a great catch.
Yeah, it's a great catch. It's interesting. This defense is
toe tapping fool.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great play.
It's good on Sundays, as they say, Corey. It's good on Sundays. Something to note, we don't know what the defense is. We think they're okay at best. Yeah. We don't think they're good.
No.
But we don't think they're horrible. They could be, but we don't think they are. We just think they're
they're probably average right now, which gives you concern as you go into this stretch that you have. But again, I think they're average because they're two best defensive linemen. You don't know what you're getting out of them.
They may be average even with them, but they're better.
They're
better without question.
I think they're top 35-ish.
Oh, well, you can win a lot of games that way.
Yeah, so if your offense is taking the step we think it has.
You saw the David Hale tweet today. I retweeted it.
I hate that guy. I don't read anything he said. I don't read his tweets. You kidding? No, what was it?
It was yards per, traditional running per attempt, design runs. Florida State's second in the conference, only behind North Carolina, but they're averaging 6.8 yards per carry on design runs.
Yeah, and they ran the ball with Tate. Like last year, it felt like last year in 2020,
they could not have done that.
They only ran well because of the threat of Jordan Travis's legs.
Right,
but Jordan Travis wasn't even in the game, and they're running. They're running.
And Tate can run.
He can move a little better than you think.
A little bit more athletic than you realize.
Yeah.
It's like a coach on the field, and he's athletic. It's amazing to see.
Sneaky athletic.
It's crazy to watch.
But Tate Rodemaker actually is an incredible athlete in certain areas. Like there was that, I think it was Duffy
video of
him doing backflips and
nuts.
Crazy dunks. Like
stupid stuff.
Kid's a really ridiculous athlete.
Yeah.
More than you would think. No, he's not Jordan Travis as a runner.
If you watch the Louisville play, if you watch the scramble for a first down, you can see how they underestimated how fast he was. Two Louisville defenders are taking terrible angles.
Kid coming in. You're like, who is this Rodemaker? Who is this guy? We haven't prepared for him at all. And then he got outside on that one play. He didn't do it again, but he did show that he could move a little bit.
Tom, any more questions, or should we move a different direction? I want to make sure we're good. Okay, good. I want to make sure we're not ignoring anybody in the chat.
Right. No, I guess we're not.
Wildly popular get-together, we can be ignoring people in the chat.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Somebody's asking repeatedly, it's Kayvon, has Jared Verse had an MRI? I mean, you can answer that as much as you want to answer that.
Yes.
I would assume he's had an MRI.
There you go.
Yeah. I think that's a good assumption,
but
right?
Then there's that policy, that little tricky policy that we have after that, right?
Okay, well, we can't answer about what that MRI said, but yes, he's had an MRI.
Yeah.
I can tell you he is not lost for the season. That should tell you everything you need to know about what the MRI said.
It is much a bummer as it is that so many of these guys are out right now, or could be out, I should say. When Jared Verse is laying on the field, I'm like, okay, he's done for the year. When Jordan Travis is pounding the ground, I'm like, okay, he's done for the year.
Yeah.
Robert Scott, I'm like, oh, he just got rolled up on because he's a Florida State lineman. That's just what happens. They just wear magnets. He's out for the year. I don't think any of them are out for the year. That is really good news. You just, it's such a big stretch coming up. Well, they're all big when you're trying to climb back up. But man, I think they'd beat Boston College by 4 touchdowns if they were healthy. 4 or 5 touchdowns at least. Yeah. I think they would destroy them. I don't know if they're equipped to just destroy a team right now, dealing with the injuries they're dealing with. But moving forward, I think they could beat Clemson. I think they could win at NC State. I think they could do all these things if they were healthy. And you just wonder how healthy Can they beat NC State without Jared Verse or Fabian Lovett? You know
Probably
what I mean?
not. Oddly, I'll tell you that I'm more concerned about the Fabian Lovett situation.
Yeah.
I think we learned pretty quickly that Fabian is such a difference maker. I mean, that guy changes football games. Louisville chose at times to run right at us last week.
That was concerning.
That was very concerning.
Yeah.
Some of those were traditional runs. That was not a good look at times.
So, general question for you. In that 2-week sequence on the road at NC State, hosting Clemson, which game is harder? Which game has a higher degree of difficulty, assuming it's the same lineup available for both?
It's Clemson. The answer is Clemson. They've got 4 guys going to get drafted in the first round on their defensive line.
Bring them. Not scared
So
of them.
I get why it's a fun question. We don't play well at NC State. They're good. They're veteran-laden on the defensive line. But Clemson's got crazy, Durden is not what Clemson has. Durden's a nice player. Florida State could use him. It would have been nice if he
wants to transfer back, he can. They take him.
It would have been great. But
was it close at all because of DJ versus Devin Leary and what DJ is not?
Devin's not playing well right now. So I pay attention to NC State because I like to gamble illegally.
Yeah, they haven't been impressive at all offensively.
They have not been good at all. They've been kind of average on offense. I can't quite figure out what's going on with them. The same is true for Wake Forest. Oddly, Wake Forest is struggling at quarterback right now. He's been average, and he's a good player. So there's something going on. I think it's the offensive line for both teams that are struggling. And when I watch these offensive lines, if you're struggling up front, man, it negates all the advantages you might have against Florida State's corners. Yeah. So, BC tomorrow, Zay Flowers is a stud. Phil is a NFL quarterback. I call him Phil.
Yeah, I know you do. You're on a first-name basis with him.
Every now and again, ask him how he's doing. But those guys are both going to play in the league. But it doesn't make any difference if that group can't block Maine. If they can't. I mean, they struggled in the first half to block Maine. So I will be concerned. We talk about all the good things that have happened.
Remember when Maine used to go to the College World Series every now and again?
Yeah,
wasn't that crazy?
It was crazy.
Where the hell did that come from?
A window.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, we talk very positively about what's happening, and we should. But if Florida State struggles tomorrow, you're going to have to reevaluate this stretch you're talking about, the Wake NC State Clemson stretch. If they struggle with this team, come on, man. I know Phil's a good player, but nobody has struggled with this team. Rutgers beat him at Boston College.
Well, it was a 1-point game, though. That was a struggle. It was a struggle. I mean, they went to Chestnut Hill, but that was let's not say they dominated.
You saw Virginia Tech last night.
Virginia Tech looked awful, and they beat the bejesus out of Boston College.
Dominated.
Yeah.
So, again, this ought not be a struggle at home, at night, packed house, team playing well, all the momentum in the world. If we're sitting here at 17-all in the fourth quarter, we got a problem.
Yeah, it wouldn't be great, especially if you have if Travis is your quarterback.
Right.
Because the only way you would think you would lose this game is a rash of awful turnovers. Which can happen. Yeah. I mean, that happens. I'm not trying to put that into existence, but if you just play a clean game on offense, you should win the game. But yeah, man, I just think their defense isn't great anyway, and they're losing they don't have their two best. They might not have their two best players.
I've heard you two talk about this on the various Warchant platforms this week.
And we have a lot of Warchant platforms.
Yes, we do. Subscribe to the podcast feed, to YouTube for free, $1 to warchant.com. It's amazing. You both have talked about your concern level if Tate plays, and I think it's different. So what is your concern level of Tate's performance if he is, in fact, the starter tomorrow and Jordan is not available?
So
I'll take it first. I'm going to take that first.
Because you're concerned.
I am concerned. I was a big Rodemaker fan in the spring, man, and he had some moments in August where I'm like, man, this kid is good.
So I'm gonna reveal something to the audience.
Just the people here or the people watching?
Everybody,
okay,
worldwide, folks in Germany, Ukraine,
Japan,
stay strong.
Yeah.
So you and I walked off the field one of the days, just one, and we agreed that if Florida State had a really good offensive line that you could trust and run a drop-back pass game, Tate's better suited for it.
Well,
now listen,
we did.
I will stick by that, by the way.
We also hadn't seen this Jordan, even in those practices. You know what I mean? This Jordan
now listen, hold on.
Different.
I want to make sure we do this, but I'm tired of apologizing for these things. Both things can be true.
Yeah.
Jordan Travis has played exceptionally well. He should be our starting quarterback. He's dynamic as hell. We're better with him than without him. He's done a lot to change the way we view him. He's been one of the best two quarterbacks in the league, period. He's probably been a top 20 quarterback in the country.
Norvell called him after the game. He said we lost one of the best players in the country before half. In a year ago, you'd have been like, come on, dude.
Come on, Mike.
And then you listen to that, and you're like, well, yeah,
he's been great.
Kind of did.
So, right. So my point is, I will praise him every which way to Sunday. I'm proud of him. I love to see that step being taken. He's a different quarterback. I do think the drop back passing game, the down the field attack, is better with Tate.
It might be.
But in
all
practice, all the other
yes.
stuff, right?
And
so he hasn't shown he can do it over and over again.
So you heard us. You heard us on headlines probably, and then I'll wake up Warchant. After the Duquesne game, it was so disappointing because
I was crushed.
I literally was because I was like,
too.
man, all these people think we're lying for some reason, or we think we don't know what we're seeing. Man, Tate Rodemaker, when he's going well,
he
looks like an NFL flipping quarterback, man.
That is correct.
With an arm,
that is correct.
You can't.
You're not wrong to say it.
But he gets into the moment, and he soiled himself
several times.
Yeah, and I'm being polite there. I want to say another verb, but he didn't. He soiled himself, and then he soiled himself with that crazy throw in the second quarter against Louisville, and you're like, well, this is a wrap on this kid. He can't do it.
I think we said it was a wrap against Duquesne when he threw the ridiculous.
But then he comes in and immediately throws it right into the groin of a linebacker, and you're like, well, that's not great, Tate. You can't. What are they going to do? Let Trayshawn Ward just play Wildcat? And then he had the half he had. Now, granted, it was 6 completions.
But they were big.
They were big throws, man, and they were really good throws. And I'm glad he at least flashed the potential of what you and I had seen at various points in August and in the spring. He can throw the ball, and he has some stuff to him, man. Now, the question is, getting back to Tom's question, do I trust that all the bad stuff is out because of 6 completions on the road? I don't know. I don't know that I trust it.
I think it's awfully fair of you to say, I'm not sure. I mean, we're just guessing.
Yeah.
We don't really know. I mean, I can't get
How
in his
does that
head.
kid play with confidence? Does he start whipping them in between, trying to fit it into even tighter windows?
So what I think is important is that he get it. Well, I don't think it's that important, but it would be nice if we're trying to develop as a team wholly to find out what everybody is. Wouldn't it be great if Florida State's up 31-3 in the third quarter and they play him? Let's see how he plays. And I'm not even kidding, Corey. Now, this is like a can you believe we're this lucky scenario? I'd run him out there with the first team because I'm not letting him run out there.
You want to do the Kentucky Derby offense?
Oh, no, I'm running him out there with the first team, and I don't care. I'm telling Halfley.
If you're up big and you bring him in.
I'm telling Halfley, listen, suck it, man. I got to work on some things. I'm not worried about your feelings. I can see if this kid can play for real. I'm running my first team back out there, and I'm letting him play the entire half, and we're running plays like we care, like the game's in the balance. And I don't care if it gets to be 55-3. We're going to see what are you. Because if you're that, buddy – You were not only pumped about the rest of this year and what's possible, but next year. It's huge.
Yeah, man. That was so going back to the question I asked way back 40 minutes ago about the bigger development. If he can stack the next time he gets out on the field, maybe it is tomorrow. We don't know. If he can stack another good performance on top of that,
it'd be huge.
It would be huge just for the direction of the program. You could say to the other Hakeem the Dreams out there, like, look at this kid.
The downfield passing game.
Look at this. Look at this kid. Look at what we got for you. Look what we got for you. This kid can really play. We promise.
Yeah.
But we don't know that yet after 6 completions. We just don't.
Fair.
A question from Island Chief that I think is a pretty good question. Are the Noles a running team or a passing team? Because last week against Louisville, Jordan Travis did start out 11 for 11, and it looks like they fell in love with the pass.
They did.
Well, hold on. I'm going to say 2 things about that. First of all, it was a brilliantly schemed script. They went into Louisville knowing that Louisville thought that Florida State was going to try to run the ball.
Yeah.
So they did the opposite.
They had a little something for them.
They had a little something for that ass.
Yeah.
And they came out in the passing game. And they're beautifully designed. Those first 5 passes are just beautifully designed. They're exposing the aggressiveness of Louisville to stop the run. So
let me ask you this. That first play to Cam McDonald, that's
great.
Wide the F open. Just because it was wide open, do you assume you can't run it again? can't you just see, well, they may never cover this? Like, I've seen a lot of Florida State defenses like, hey, if you want to run a crossing pattern,
just keep doing it.
Yeah. Like, I don't think they ever called that play again. Maybe they did, and it wasn't there.
Right.
But don't you think maybe the next drive you go back to it too and see if there's
maybe not the next drive, but later in the game.
I feel like you just run it until they stop it.
But they designed that based on a look that they were getting on
because
film.
they haven't done anything like that all year off
You're
that
right.
look.
They had not done anything like that. So that was based on a look, and now you've exposed it. You've given it to the other team. Now, I'm not saying you can't try it again just to see if they respond, but it had the maximum impact, and then really you were off and running from that point forward. I do think they want to run. Like, the evidence that they want to run and that's their identity is in the second half. When they've worn them down in the passing game, they've hit on some big plays down the field. They're making you play them honest, and now we're going straight. Here we go. Yeah. Let's go. Let's run the ball. They started to road grade in the second half, by the way. Yeah. That was not outside zone, Tom. That is right up your ass is what that is.
The biggest drive, obviously, was the one to go ahead what are we looking at there? I can't even see. Oh, is that me dumping you got to get it higher, Bill. That's me dumping champagne. Look at the difference in the cheeks. Look at the difference in the cheeks. It's been a minute. That was a year ago. It was almost a year ago.
Yeah, so that was a year ago?
Yeah, that was Syracuse. That was the big win over Syracuse.
It looks like you've had that expression before.
Shut up, Jeff.
I'm just letting you know. I'm just saying. Like,
that's just gross.
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
But, yeah. So,
Phil,
shut up. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You guys are juveniles. It's 8th grade. Just because I'm drinking an 8th grader's drink doesn't mean you have to do that.
He celebrated in a similar fashion.
Well, and look, since that time, since I asked Norvell that question and got them all riled up after the Louisville game, they're 9-3.
Locked in.
They're 9-3.
He didn't seem to have the same enthusiasm as you did when you guys did the follow-up to that.
No, he did not. But I
don't think he felt the same.
I took more credit for it than he did.
I loved it. You did a great job. I'm just saying he didn't seem to agree.
It's fine. I think that changed the program.
Yeah.
It turned the program around. They're 9-3 since then. And their 3 losses were without their starting quarterback.
And it was
Clemson
because of that question.
Yeah, probably. But that last drive against Louisville was so pivotal because I think Tate threw the only pass he threw was the one to Johnny in the crazy catch in the corner. Other than that, it's Trey Benson for 7, Trey Benson for 12.
By the way, we have not talked a lot about Trey.
Those were 3 huge runs for that kid.
Man runs.
He had 5 carries for 9 yards before that.
He was floundering.
He floundered kind of against LSU.
But why do you think that is? It's weird. We never saw that in practice, Corey. He ran like a man in practice.
I think it's the same thing with Johnny. Johnny now knows he can go dominate.
Do it out there, yeah.
Trey Benson, yeah, man, you threw Duquesne defenders off. Yeah. Great. You could have done that when you were 17.
Correct.
Like, now you go to LSU.
That's a fair point.
You go to LSU, those are big kids, man, and they're NFL players.
They're better players than we have on defense. Yeah.
And so you can't just run through those dudes. And he found that out. And I don't think he ran hard. And I don't think he was running hard against Louisville.
So you think the comeuppance happened?
I think it was like he got benched after that false start. I think he was running 5 for 9. And Trayshawn Ward is clearly the better running back.
By the way, in the whole, Trayshawn is unbelievable.
He's great. He's great at that. Yeah. So, but then Trey Benson took that challenge, man. And let's see what that means for him. He's done it on it. Those were by far the 3 biggest runs of his career.
The next project for Norvell and all those guys, because they are harping on hitting the hole and like playing hard, playing fast, playing strong, going downhill. They have got to find a way to get McLean to run the ball to the end zone with some sort of, not McLean, McCall. Sam, they got to find a way to get him to run, or anybody to run out of the end zone like they care to get some yardage. Watching this half-stepping, pussyfooting nonsense is impossible.
Right.
It's like, what? You're going to get killed. I'm actually concerned for their health. Run.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hit a hole. That's a kick return.
By the way, what's nuts is Deuce Spann, we can say it now, all throughout practice, Deuce Spann was getting a ton of opportunities in kickoff. Let's go.
Loosen up the deuce.
Yeah, unsheath the beast.
Unsheath. What a word. Yeah, man, it was surprising. Deuce was on the field, was on the sidelines on Friday night. He was there.
Yeah.
And I think Darian Williamson, to my surprise, and I know he had a good week of practice, usurped him. And then, we'll see if Deuce is even in the mix this week, which is a surprise.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, Buffalo Tom. It would be fun, but we're not going to do it. He wants us to arm wrestle. We're not circus clowns. We're not going to be up here
like you'd beat me.
I would, but we're not doing that. He wants $5 to see us arm wrestle. We've decided we're not going to do that, Buffalo Tom, but I do like that you asked for it.
What was the Stallone movie? Over the Top.
Over the Top.
So if I had a hat, I'd turn around backwards. That's when I'm a machine. Let's go. He beat the bull or whatever that big bald guy was.
Yeah. I never actually saw that movie. He's a trucker.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. And Kenny Loggins had the.
And his son's in the movie.
Is that his real son?
That's his real son.
Oh, nice.
Is his son dead?
I don't know, man.
I think
hope
maybe
not.
so. I think maybe so. Yeah.
But anyway, that was probably Kenny Loggins' best movie.
Can you look that
or
up?
best song? I don't know. You don't need to talk about Sylvester Stallone's kid.
I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying I think it happened. I think his son might have gotten a little loose.
Man, I'm glad. What a way to end the show.
Yes, he is. He's right.
Yep. Nice.
You're welcome.
No, let's not celebrate that.
Oh, come on,
what do you celebrate? That's not something
I'm
you
celebrating
celebrate.
being right, not the death of his child. I'm just saying, I'm really proud of knowing that. I shouldn't know that.
That kid from that movie is
He's dead. That's a doornail.
That's a bummer. For real. That's he's probably my age.
It's a toughie. But listen, I'm happy I got it right. Not that he's dead.
Sure, that's all that matters.
This has devolved in the chat to a name your price. Would you arm wrestle for $1,000 from Hayden?
From who?
Hayden, a gentleman named Hayden.
Come on.
Yes,
You give us $1,000. Let's go.
I'll arm wrestle for.
Let's go. I want to see the $1,000. Let's go.
Yeah,
It's not there yet.
It was
a
just
question.
wondering. It was hypothetical. It's like me asking you to go to College Station. What would it take?
Yeah, right.
Like 10,000 a month.
Here's what we are going to do. I can feel that it's getting out of control. It's unraveling. We love you.
Are we done?
Thank you to Chad for a $10 donation that just came in.
Thank you,
Talking
Chad.
about special teams mantras and such.
Appreciate you, Chad. Appreciate everybody here. Let's enjoy each other's company.
We do need Fitz Magic to make some kicks more. Make a couple kicks to feel good.
Tomorrow is the big day, right? He's going to make 2 kicks.
You got to feel better about. You're going to be in a ton of close games all year. You need a kicker that can make some kicks, man. You need to.
Well, there's some things to work on, but they're 3-0, and every time we do this and they're undefeated, it's going to be a fun time.
I can't believe they're 3-0.
It's awesome.
I should, but I can't. What are you laughing at, Tom?
There's not $1,000 in there right now, but somebody said, "Come on, at least the thumb war." No thumb war.
Thumb war. I'd rather.
That would be. We're not going to talk about that.
I'd rather wrestle.
Yeah.
Than do a thumb war.
Yeah. No, we're not reenacting weird shit, guys. We're done. The day is over. It's been real. For all of our friends at Corner Pocket.
Yep, good crowd.
And all of you watching on the chat, thanks so much.
Go Noles.
Go Noles.
Get to Porto,
Don't forget
please.
tomorrow,
Get
5 to 7, we'll do the pregame show. Then there's the in-game watch-along, post-game show, the Warchant wrap, and all that good stuff. Corey and I will do that after the game as well. Be good. Go Noles. We'll talk to you soon.